The Red Sea, a vital waterway, a tinderbox of tension. This ancient maritime route has seen countless conflicts, but today, it faces a new kind of threat. For months, the Houthi rebels of Yemen had been playing a dangerous game. Their actions were not just random acts of aggression but a calculated strategy to disrupt and destabilize. They harassed and attacked commercial shipping, causing fear and uncertainty among international traders. The economic implications were significant, with insurance rates skyrocketing and shipping routes being reconsidered. They targeted vessels from nations backing their enemies in the Saudi-led coalition. This was a clear message. No one supporting their adversaries would be safe in these waters. And they had set their sights on an even bigger prize U.S. Navy warships. These powerful symbols of American military might become prime targets in their campaign. The Houthis, backed by Iran, were locked in a brutal civil war with the Yemeni government. This conflict had deepened regional divides and drawn in international powers. They saw the U.S. as a supporter of the Saudi-led intervention in the conflict. To them, American involvement was an extension of the oppression they faced, and they were determined to make their anger known. Their defiance was not just a show of strength but a statement of their resolve. The Red Sea, with its narrow straits and heavy traffic, offered the perfect battleground. The attack started small, almost imperceptible to the untrained eye. Fast boats armed with machine guns and rocket-propelled grenades would harass U.S. warships. These swift and agile vessels were hard to track and even harder to neutralize. Drones, some armed with explosives, would buzz the ships, testing their defenses. These unmanned aerial vehicles added a new dimension to the threat, making it harder for the Navy to anticipate attacks. The U.S. Navy, wary of being drawn into a wider conflict, showed restraint. They knew that a heavy-handed response could escalate the situation beyond control. But the Houthis, emboldened by each successful probe, grew more brazen. Their confidence grew with each encounter, pushing the boundaries of this dangerous game further and further. Then came the day the Houthis went too far. They misidentified their target, a mistake that would have far-reaching consequences. Instead of a lumbering cargo ship or a vulnerable support vessel, which they had successfully targeted in the past, they set their sights on the pride of the U.S. Navy, a nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, a symbol of American naval dominance. The USS Theodore Roosevelt, a behemoth of American military might, was sailing through the strategic waters of the Red Sea, a vital artery for global trade and military operations. It was a show of force, a clear message to Iran and its proxies that the United States was watching and ready to act. But for the Houthis, emboldened by their recent successes, it was a target too tempting to resist, a chance to strike a blow against a formidable adversary. A swarm of drones launched from the Yemeni coast descended on the carrier with precision and intent. Some carried cameras, relaying live footage of the attack back to Houthi command, providing real-time intelligence and a sense of control over the unfolding chaos. Others were packed with explosives, ready to detonate on impact, designed to cause maximum damage and disruption. The attack was swift and unexpected, catching the crew of the Roosevelt off guard, but only for a moment. The Houthis had used the cover of darkness and the cluttered radar picture of the busy shipping lanes to their advantage, hoping to mask their approach and increase the element of surprise. The response from the Roosevelt was immediate and overwhelming, a testament to the training and readiness of its crew. Close-in weapon systems roared to life, spewing a torrent of fire into the sky, creating a deadly barrier against the incoming drones. Fighter jets scrambled from the carrier's deck, intercepted the drones with missiles, their pilots executing maneuvers with precision and skill. The attack was repelled. The Roosevelt emerged unscathed, a testament to its formidable defenses. But the message was clear, not just to the Houthis, but to the world. The Houthis had made a dangerous enemy, one that would not tolerate such provocations lightly. The cost of their miscalculation would be felt for a long time to come. The U.S. response was swift and decisive. No more restraint, no more warnings. The president authorized immediate retaliatory strikes. Within hours, American bombers and cruise missiles were in the air. Their targets, Houthi drone facilities, command and control centers, and weapons depots along the Yemeni coast. The strikes were precise and devastating. Years of Houthi investment in their drone program, much of it supplied by Iran, went up in smoke. The message was clear. Attacks on U.S. forces would not be tolerated. The Red Sea, once a haven for Houthi aggression, had become a hunting ground. But the strikes were just the beginning. The U.S. Navy, determined to prevent future attacks, implemented a new strategy. They would fight fire with fire, but with a twist that would exploit a critical weakness in the Houthi arsenal. The attacks on the USS Theodore Roosevelt were a wake-up call. They underscored the changing nature of warfare. No longer were powerful nations threatened solely by other nation-states with vast armies and sophisticated weaponry. Now, relatively small groups, armed with cheap and readily available technology, could pose a serious threat. Drones, once the domain of science fiction, had become a weapon of choice for terrorists and insurgents. And the Houthis, with their Iranian backers, had become masters of their use. They were cheap, they were effective, and they were difficult to defend against. The traditional methods of air defense, expensive surface-to-air missiles, and high-performance fighter jets were ill-suited to counter this new threat. They were overkill. Firing a $1 million missile at a drone that cost a few $1,000s made little economic sense. A new solution was needed, a solution that was both effective and affordable. Section 5, the APKWS Advantage. Enter the APKWS, or Advanced Precision Kill Weapon System. This innovative system has revolutionized the way we think about aerial combat and precision strikes. This was not your father's rocket. Unlike the unguided munitions of the past, the APKWS brings a new level of sophistication to the battlefield. It was a laser-guided marvel of modern engineering. The precision and reliability of this system are unmatched, making it a game-changer in modern warfare. And it was about to change the game in the Red Sea. The strategic importance of this region cannot be overstated, and having a reliable weapon like the APKWS is crucial. The APKWS was essentially a dumb rocket, the kind used by helicopters and attack planes for decades. These traditional rockets lacked the precision needed for modern combat scenarios. For years, these unguided rockets were the standard, but they often resulted in collateral damage and missed targets. Transformed into a precision-guided munition, the APKWS changes all that. By adding a laser guidance kit, the rocket could be steered onto its target with pinpoint accuracy. This simple yet effective upgrade turns an ordinary rocket into a highly accurate weapon. The technology behind it is both ingenious and cost-effective. The rocket could be steered onto its target with pinpoint accuracy. And the best part, it was cheap, a fraction of the cost of a traditional air-to-air missile. This affordability makes it an attractive option for military forces around the world. The U.S. Navy saw the potential of the APKWS. It was the perfect weapon to counter the drone threat. Drones, which are small and agile, pose a significant challenge to traditional weapons. It was the perfect weapon to counter the drone threat. Small, agile, and deadly accurate, it could take down drones with ease. Small, agile, and deadly accurate, it could take down drones with ease. This capability is essential in modern combat, where drones are increasingly used for surveillance and attacks. It could take down drones with ease, and at a cost of around $30,000 per shot, it was a bargain compared to the millions of dollars it cost to operate a fighter jet. And at a cost of around $30,000 per shot, it was a bargain compared to the millions of dollars it cost to operate a fighter jet. This cost-effectiveness allows for more frequent and flexible use in various combat scenarios. It was a bargain compared to the millions of dollars it cost to operate a fighter jet. The APKWS represents a significant advancement in military technology, providing a powerful, precise, and affordable solution for modern warfare. Section 6, Shifting the Balance. The impact was immediate. U.S. Navy helicopters and fighter jets armed with APKWS rockets began patrolling the Red Sea, their mission hunt and destroy Houthi drones. The skies over the strategic waterway became a no-fly zone for the rebels. The Houthis, deprived of their weapon of choice, were on the back foot. Their attacks on shipping dwindled, their ability to project power into the Red Sea was crippled. The U.S. Navy, through the innovative use of a relatively inexpensive weapon, had shifted the balance of power. But the implications of the APKWS's success extended far beyond the Red Sea. It had demonstrated the growing importance of cost-effective weaponry in modern warfare. No longer could nations rely solely on expensive, high-tech solutions. The future of warfare, it seemed, belonged to those who could find creative and affordable ways to counter emerging threats. Section 7, A Wider Conflict. The Red Sea, once a backwater of the global war on terror, had become a testing ground for new weapons and tactics. The conflict in Yemen, though often overlooked, had the potential to escalate. The involvement of regional powers, like Saudi Arabia and Iran, added another layer of complexity. The U.S., while seeking to avoid entanglement in another Middle Eastern quagmire, remained committed to protecting its interests and its allies. The Red Sea, with its vital shipping lanes and strategic importance, would remain a focal point for the U.S. Navy. The U.S. had shown its willingness to use force to defend its interests, but the long-term solution to the conflict in Yemen lay not in military might, but in diplomacy. A political settlement, however difficult to achieve, was the only way to bring lasting peace to the war-torn nation. Section 8, The Human Cost. Lost in the geopolitical maneuvering and the strategic calculations was the human cost of the conflict. Yemen, the poorest nation in the Arab world, had become a humanitarian catastrophe. Millions faced starvation, disease was rampant, and the war, fueled by foreign powers, raged on. The international community, distracted by other crises, had failed the people of Yemen. The US, while providing some humanitarian aid, had been criticized for its support of the Saudi-led coalition, which had been accused of war crimes. The situation in Yemen was a stark reminder that even the most advanced weapons and the most sophisticated tactics could not solve every problem. Sometimes the greatest weapon was compassion, the greatest victory, peace.